Now that you have much a better understanding of what's the brand Saeco, and now that you understand better the DNA that's behind the brand, we can move forward and start have a better understanding on what are all the technicalities that we have in our machines. You'll be presenting actually 4 machines, which are the Xelsis, the Cynthias, and the Bohemia. So I'm gonna move forward one and one so you have a better understanding on each. Now, the Xelsis ID, this is the state-of-the-art machine that you'll find in the market. You might find other machines from other companies that are gonna be claiming as good as quality as this one, but never at the price per feature that this one can offer. The Xelsis ID is retail $2,800 or $3,100 depending on which kind of unit you're selecting, because you have to choose between 2 different models that we have available for this baby. Why is this baby so expensive? You'll understand as I move forward all the capacities and all the technicalities that this machine has. So the Xelsis ID, you can have 350 grams of coffee that you can put in your coffee drop right here. You have a water tank here of 2.6 liters, and you have right over here, you have a cup warmer. The cup warmer is super important actually, because most of coffee cups are made in ceramic and they're standing right there in the counter. And ceramic used to be cold when it's remaining at the temperature of the room. So if you put a regular coffee cup that's at the temperature of the piece and you put it here, from the moment the coffee is going to drop in, there's going to be a temperature exchange. So the coffee is going to drop down temperature and it's not going to be as hot as expected. So to avoid that, what we do is that we included a cup warmer right over here to make sure that we don't lose any property on the coffee and on the temperature of the coffee. This being said, you also have a coffee drop here. What I mean by a coffee drop is that right over here you have a bypass where you can put your ground coffee. Why ground coffee? You know, there's sometimes that you're having people coming at your place and you have your beans here, and somebody comes in and says, hey, you know what? I would like to have a decaf. So you avoid using your regular coffee reservoir, you can use your little coffee drop, your bypass right over here. Super important fact. If you're gonna use this one, you really need to use this little thing to be able to push the quantity here. Only 1 drop. So you take 1 spoon in your coffee, in your ground coffee, you put it in there, no more than 1. Because if you put 2, you're gonna stuck your machine and it's not gonna work. So you really can only make 1 little spoon at a time. Super important. Other fact that is super interesting on this machine, this one has an ID recognizer. So what I mean, and I spoke to you a little bit early about the importance of the quality of the coffee, the taste of the coffee, and customizing our coffee. With this one, I can configure and customize 9 different drinks for 6 different persons. So I can record in this machine 6 different ID recognitions for 6 different persons, each person having 9 different beverages, one different from another. So if I'm living in a household and my wife likes to have short coffee, not too strong, with more water, she can program it with her ID, and I'm gonna do the same thing if I want it like stronger. And each time I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna push my finger right over here. The machine is gonna recognize my digital ID, and then it's gonna be able to remember how exactly I program my machine. Now, talking about programming. First thing you do when you sell a machine is tell your customer, the first thing you need to do is put water in it. You don't put the coffee, you put the water, because the machine is gonna request for water to be able to put the water inside all the circuits and make sure that there's water in it. Because if there's no water, the coffee won't be able to come. It's gonna get stuck and it's gonna break the machine. So first thing you do is always put the water in the water tank. Once the machine tells you, okay, I'm free to go, I've requested for water, you've put in the water, now you put the coffee. Once you've put in the coffee, now you start thinking about programming. Remember, first thing we could program right over here out of the automatic adapting system was that you could configure the kind of grinding that you wanted in your coffee. You could have either very coarse, either super fine. Difference, if it's coarser, coffee is gonna be less tasty. So for somebody that is not used to drink espresso, if you're somebody that likes to have a super strong espresso, I recommend you to have a grinding that's gonna be very fine to make sure that your coffee ends up super tasty in your cup. So first adjustment you need to do. Once you've done that, your machine is on. You just need to program it. How do you program your machine? You start by recording your digital ID recognizer to make sure it recognizes you each time you come to it. So to do it, you're gonna need to go into your menu, your user menu. You go there, you click, and you ask create a new user. So you create a new user, you press OK, and then you select the user you want to have. Once you've done that, it's gonna ask you to record your name. So you change the name, you record it, you play it, you press OK, and then the machine is gonna automatically request you, put your fingerprint, take it out, put it back, take it out, put it back. And unless it reaches the 100%, just follow the instructions the machine she's giving you. She's recording your digital ID printer. So she's recording your fingerprint actually. So once that is done, your name is gonna appear right over here in the main menu. And it's gonna say your name. Once that is done, the machine is telling you, I'm ready. You can program me your drinks or tell me what you want to drink on the way you're going to program it. But because it's the first time you're using the machine, you want to program it. So you have two kind of menus. You have your drinks menu and you have your machine menu. I would recommend you to, before going to your drink menu, make sure that you go onto your main menu to make sure that you can program all the machine on the way you want it to be used. So in the machine menu, you can find general settings, language, hour, everything. After that, you go into display settings. Display settings figure out the brightness and the contrast and the quality of image that you're having in your display screen right over here. After that, you have the calendar. You can program the machine and have a calendar in it, like so it remembers what date you're doing, and then she can automatically calculate how many cups you're doing, so she can tell you when you need to descale it. I'm gonna talk about descaling after. After that, you can program the quantity of the type of water you're using. This is super important because in coffee tasting, there's not only the coffee in the machine that makes the job. The water is super important. So with regards to water, there's three kind of different main kind of water that you can program. There's solid water, soft water, and regular water. So what you need to do actually, your machine comes with a little filter, which is this one. If you have it is super simple actually to know what kind of water you're having at home. You just need to call the city town and they're gonna tell you exactly what kind of water you're having in your services. So once that is done, you just need to follow up the instructions that comes with your filter, and it's gonna tell you what kind of water you need to program here. It's an A, B, or C. Once you program it, you plug in your filter inside. You can put this in your water tank. In your water tank, you put it in the machine. Once that is done, you go to the machine and tell her, I'm having solid water. So consider that. And once that is done, it's gonna ask you, do you want to activate your filter? You go into activate filter, you press OK, and it's gonna automatically activate your filter. This is super crucial because otherwise the machine is not gonna consider your filter and you're gonna use it for nothing. Lifetime of the filter is approximately 3 months, and it avoids you to change the descaling from your machine each 6 months. Instead of having it each 4 months, it's gonna be 6 to 8 months. So it's very good for the maintenance of your machine. Once that is done, you can go back. You can set up your machine of when you want your machine to be turned on, turned off, sleep mode. Everything's configurable. If you want your machine to be switched off after 15 minutes being non-used, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or an hour, you can program it and the machine will do it. Not only that, you can tell her the machine, do you want to rinse your machine each time it turns off and turns on? I would strongly recommend it because it's very, very good for the maintenance of the machine. Otherwise, there could be some residues of water or of minerals that can keep in the circuits, and in the long-term perspective, it's going to request you to more maintenance. So just to avoid that, make sure that you keep activated the automatic, the auto cleaning mode. This being said, once you've programmed your entire machine, you go into your drinks, and now you can program all your drinks. Remember earlier today, I spoke to you about two things: strength of your coffee and length of your coffee. There's two things. Strength of your coffee is when you choose how many beans you want it to be active. One bean meant that you were grinding 7 grams of coffee. 2 beans, 9 grams, and 3 beans is 10.5 grams of coffee for the same quantity of water. If I go into the length of the coffee, it represented how much water you were infusing with the same amount of coffee. So all of that is going to be configurable and personal, and you can customize it depending on what kind of coffee drinker you are. So in my perspective, I'll go into the espresso menu, because you can, as I told you, you can customize 9 different drinks. So espresso, you can personalize cappuccino, macchiato, cafe latte, hot water, hot milk, those, and espresso macchiato, and americano. So you have 9 complete beverages that you can program with the machine. I really recommend you to program each and one of them to make sure that next time you don't have to bug and play with the machine and everything, it's done by itself. So I go into espresso, for example, and then you can choose strength of your coffee, 1 bean, 2 bean, or 3 beans. You select it and depending on the quantity of coffee you want. I like it strong, so I program it for 3 beans. After that, pre-infusion. It automatically set up at on, but if you want it to be turned off because you think it's a waste of time, you can turn it off, but to be brutally honest, it's super useless to do it. Temperature of your coffee. There's people that really like to have a hot coffee. Some others prefer to have it super hot, and others like almost burning. So depending on that, you can configure the machine to tell her, I want it either super hot or regular, depending on the preferences you want. After that, you can choose the length of your coffee, how much water you want with your espresso. And once that is done, it's automatically recorded. Each time you're gonna press your fingerprint and you're gonna press on espresso, the machine is gonna do the espresso just the way you asked for it. And you can do exactly the same thing with your allongé, with your americano, and all the coffee settings that you have. Now, let's take the example of a cappuccino, because espresso, allongé, and americano are very, very similar. But cappuccino, you have more settings you can play with. If I go to cappuccino, not only you can configure the strength of your coffee, the length of your coffee, and the temperature of your coffee, but you can also configure the length of your milk, the temperature and the density of your milk. Everything is customizable. So you can configure your cappuccino, you can configure all your latte collections, you can configure all your espresso collections, and then you're ready to go. You can program your espressos and it's gonna be all done in one touch. Let's give it an example. Here you have an example of a coffee that I made 5 minutes ago, and you see the texture of the three levels is still there, and it's still pretty hot. So it really makes a very good quality of coffee. Now as an example, let's take another one. So I'm gonna ask my machine to do me a cappuccino so you can see how nice the job is done automatically. So if I press cappuccino, the machine is gonna tell me, wait a second, you need to open your cappuccino here, your frother. So you open your frother, now the machine starts. It's grinding the coffee. The ground coffee is gonna be sent out to the brewing system. Once the machine has done that, the machine is gonna start absorbing the milk, making it pass through the double boiler. And once the double boiler heated up the milk, it's gonna froth it and crash it back into the glass. So now it's working, it's heating up, it's aspiring the milk, and then the milk is gonna start falling down. Once the machine is done with the milk, the machine is gonna vaporize with very, very hot temperature right in front of the liquids here to make sure that the machine is clean and that there's no bacteria of the milk that's been remain inside the system. So it's automatic cleaning, which is pretty nice too. Once the milk is done, the machine is gonna start the pre-infusion, the pre-brewing. Remember what the pre-brewing means? We were compressing water to start humidifying the coffee so the infusion works better. So now it cleans up, everything comes from down, the milk is ready. Now the machine is gonna send the coffee into the pre-brewing. Now, there you go. And then the coffee falls down. If by any chance you want to stop the coffee before it ends, you just need to stop, and it's gonna stop automatically. Like now. My cappuccino is all ready. I can put this back in the fridge. I can put back the cover. And my machine is ready to go. Now the machine wants to clean the milk carafe again, so I'll just press escape. Put this back in the fridge, put the little cover, and my machine is ready to go. I don't lose milk, I don't lose coffee, I don't lose anything. This is pretty awesome. Now, this being said, you can also have other drink options. I spoke about coffee, I spoke about cappuccinos and lattes, but you can still make tea, you know, or hot chocolate if you want. You just need to ask your machine for hot water. How am I going to do it? I just need to open here, and I'm going to ask for hot water. Hot water is going to come out from it. You don't need to boil your water anymore. This one does it very fast. Once you're done, you stop it. And again, you can still use a panarello if you want to froth your milk on your own. You just need a little milk frother, and you can start making circles with it by requesting the vapor. How do you request the vapor? You go into special and you ask for the vapor. So a little bit of water is going to come in before, and once the water can come out, now you can start using the vapor to be frothing your own milk instead of using the automatic option. There you go. So now the vapor is coming out. Now you can take the milk, you can froth it, jug it, and once the texture that you want is done, you stop it, and you're ready to do your own cappuccino. So you see, this is very, very, very simple. Now, I really want to show you what's the difference between a cappuccino, between an espresso, a long espresso with short and long crema. So if I press for espresso, this is adjustable, okay? This is adjustable. If I do that, I can press espresso right over here, and my username is right over there. So it remembers exactly how I asked for it. So I press espresso. She already knows that I want it strong, 10.5 grams. And now the level of pressure is very low. So you're gonna see, as far as I adjust it bigger, the crema is gonna be really, really thicker, which is really nice. Because what we really want is to have a very nice big crema, because that's what's more consistent. That's what had the entire expression and flavors of the coffee. So the coffee falls down, and I start increasing the pressure. Now the crema is coming thicker. So now I have a nice crema. And now if I want to do an allongé, remember, an allongé has more coffee, has the same quantity of coffee as in this one, but with more water, because I program all my coffees to be strong. So if I press longo, and I'm gonna ask for less crema, you're gonna see my coffee is gonna be longer. My crema is gonna be a little bit smaller, but my coffee is gonna be longer and less strong, because it's gonna have less crema, more water, but the same quantity of coffee. So you see already the color of the coffee is a little bit darker. And it becomes turning like more clear and clearer because there's more water coming with it. And if I want to stop it, I can stop it anytime. So believe it or not, the two drinks that you have here have the same amount of coffee. The difference is the quantity of water. Espresso, allongé. Thicker crema, smaller crema. And that's how you can make a really nice espresso. You can become an expert barista only by one touch. Now, you might ask yourself, okay, this is really good, but what about maintenance? Maintenance is super simple. I open here, and here I have all the entrance of my machines. My coffee drops come here, my water drop comes here. My machine is gonna tell me when I need to clean it up, so I don't need to worry about it. I just need to pull this off, put it in the garbage, and that's it. We're done. One thing I do recommend, this is your brewing group. This is where the ground coffee falls in before getting infused. So my recommendation is take it off once in a while and rinse it with cold water once a week. Because if you rinse it with hot water, what's going to happen is the coffee is already oily. And if you mix it with hot water, well, you know what's going to happen. Hot water, oil, so the oil is going to get absorbed by hot water and it's going to get expanded in the brewing group, which is not good in long-term perspective for the machine. So just rinse it with cold water. You can put it back anytime. Solid. And that's it. Remember, the machine is gonna open. It has an auto rinsing system. Each time it's gonna turn on or turn off. And once the machine really needs for descaling, the machine is gonna ask for it. Otherwise, you need to do nothing else. Everything's done automatically. One touch, 30 seconds to clean once in a while. That's it. That's all. So it is a $2,800 machine, but with the quantity of features that you have here, there's no reason to complain. Even more knowing that this machine could last for 10 or 15 years. If you do have any questions, I recommend you to go to Philips and to go visit the Philips Cycle website, philipscycle.com. All the details, all the technical qualities of the machine, all the dimensions, and all the features that I just explained are there in video and in pictures. So please feel comfortable to visit the website anytime.